Kevin McCarthy has faced pretty fierce criticism from a small group of people within his own party, some hard-right Republicans who have been unhappy with many aspects of his leadership really, but were particularly upset after he struck that agreement with Democrats late last week for a temporary funding deal to avoid a government shutdown. Now, Kevin McCarthy had only been in this job for less than a year. He fought a pretty difficult battle to get there, going through 15 rounds of voting. And he also, as part of that, made a number of concessions. And one of those was to give any member the power to bring on what's known as a motion to vacate. So basically bring on a vote to decide whether or not to remove him from his job. And that is what has happened today. Florida Republican Matt Gaetz, one of Mr. McCarthy's most outspoken critics, moved this motion. He argued that the Speaker had broken a series of promises, that he hadn't done enough to bring down government spending. And because Republicans only have a narrow majority in the House and Democrats then decided not to come to Mr. McCarthy's rescue, this motion passed 216 votes to 210. That means that Kevin McCarthy has become the first person to be voted out as Speaker of the US House of Representatives. We haven't heard from him since that happened, but on his way in this morning, he was defending his conduct and he was criticising those who were trying to remove him.
I truly believe, though, the institution of the House. At the end of the day, if you throw a speaker out that has 99% of their conference, that kept government open and paid the troops, I think we're in a really bad place for how we're going to run Congress.
So, Michael, an interim speaker has now been appointed while the House gets on with the job of finding a replacement. This is a powerful position in the US. The Speaker sets the agenda in the House, but they're also second in line in the presidential line of succession behind the Vice President. Now, there's nothing to stop Kevin McCarthy putting his hand up again. He did say earlier today that, he never gives up, something that we saw with those 15 rounds of voting last time. That dragged on for days. We'll have to see now how this process unfolds.